Giraffe. Oh my god, yeah! Look at the giraffe, guys. Giraffe. Oh my god. Look at the giraffe. Oh my god. Gosh. Huh?
That's a long time.
So her forehead is covered in little freckles. What's great? What's her kids? Oh, she's got her head in the alfalfa feeder over there. Eleanor is starting to develop those freckles as well. So most of Harriet's kids develop those little freckles as well, which is fun to see. Now giraffe can sleep both standing up and laying down. But they sleep in short little 5 to 10 minute increments, totaling only about an hour overall. That's all the sleep they need. But Harriet is actually doing a good example of one of the other ways that they rest, and that's that they kind of zone out. Generally, how a giraffe spends their day. That's Donzella.
Oh my goodness.
So generally how they spend their day is in the morning, they're going to go out when it's cooler and they're going to eat as much as they can. And then in the afternoon, for the hottest portion of the day, they're going to go find themselves a nice shady spot and go hang out there. And they're going to kind of zone out while they chew their cud. Now, I'm sure you've heard of cows chewing their cud. Giraffes do the same. And what that means is that they eat a bunch of food, and then later, and they chew it, swallow it, then later they're going to bring it back up again, and they're going to chew it some more. Now that's so that they can get all the nutrients from that food that they need to get. You can imagine it takes a lot of leaves to get to 2,000 pounds. So they need to get all the nutrients from that food that they can. So what Harriet is doing there is kind of zoning out while she chews her cud. She's chewing, her cheeks are full. Eventually she'll stop and she'll swallow it back down, and you'll actually see it go down her neck. And then when she brings it back up, you'll see it go back up her neck, and her cheeks will puff out and she'll start eating again. Oh my
The giraffe. Ganito kumain yung
They
giraffe.
do spend a good portion of their day chewing their cud. And then again at night when it cools off a little, they're going to go back out and eat some more. So that's kind of how they spend their day. And they do that pretty similarly here as well. Shows how they use their tongue and their teeth. She's ripping off every little piece of bark that she can from those trees. Does anyone have any questions about our giraffe herd? Yeah.
Have you ever been kicked?
No. Thankfully. I know people who have.
Who's the troublemaker?
Dami Bella.
The
Very
one
much
that's
so.
hold on.
Constant troublemaker.
Oh, why is
They do each have their
Where's
very
Donnie?
distinct personalities, and that does impact our day-to-day taking care of them, because you do have to know how they're going to respond to things. So when we work with them, we keep in mind, you know, Nikki, she's been around for 25 years. She's pretty used to things. There's not much you can do that shocks her. So she's kind of our easiest to work with because she's kind of mellow. She knows what's going on. Dami Bella, as I said, is our troublemaker. So she's not going to do what you want her to do just because she can. We do a lot of training with our giraffe, and most of that is husbandry based, which means it helps us take better care of them. Mostly what we do is we work with our chute. We have what's called a giraffe chute or a giraffe tamer. And it's basically just a really large box that the giraffe can enter in. We can shut the doors so they're enclosed in there. And then we can access any part of their body that we need to. We have doors down below so we can work on their hooves if they ever need a hoof trim or anything like that. There's doors in the middle so you can access their midsection. And then there's a second story so that you can access their neck and their head as well. And what we work on there are, like I said, husbandry things. So we want to work on being able to do full exams, so our vet can come down and do a physical exam if they need it. We want to be able to look at their eyes, their ears, their mouth. We want to be able to draw blood, do the hoof work that I mentioned, all of that stuff that helps us take better care of them. But the main reason we use that chute on a daily basis is to get them used to it. Because the goal is, if something were to happen, if one of our giraffe were to get injured or sick all of a sudden and we needed to get a look at them, we want them to be used to coming into that chute so that they're calm about it. Because the worst thing we could do is if they're sick, we don't want to stress them out any more than we have to. So it's in their best interest and ours for them to be able to come into that chute calmly and let us do what we need to do. And actually, Nikki, about 10 years ago, was pregnant and she went into labor, but it wasn't advancing. Baby wasn't coming out. So eventually they made the decision, they brought her into the chute and they were able to pull that baby out and assist her in that way. And both Nikki and the baby survived, which is obviously the outcome you want. But without that chute, that would have been a lot more of a stressful procedure to have to do with Nikki. So it's really, really helpful to work with them in that way. Yeah. Hi. Oh, you're just saying hi? Hi.